Well, there it is in all its glory, the door lock. And I got it out okay. I may just talk about how I got it out instead of showing you. I might also just record the reassembly. So we'll see how that all goes if you want to stay tuned. This video is about replacing this unit right here. The entire door lock, as it's called by Mercedes-Benz, is about $650. The best price I've been able to see online, because I have no choice. I'm out in the boondocks, so there is no going into town. The best price online I've seen is about $430 or so. So what I went and did, I bought the $80 eBay fix. So I'm going to replace this unit here. It also comes with some other piece parts which I'll go over. And I purchased it before I disassembled this. However, I did find a crack and deformity right there. So as minor as that looks, hopefully that is it. And when I replace this unit here, my problems will be solved. So like I said, I bought this off of eBay. I can't remember the vendor. You know, seemed reputable. Anyway, here's the part. They advertised it as white. Then when they sent me the invoice, it showed it as black, and then when I received it, it was blue. So anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm going to take the old one off, put the new one on, and I have to do it right next to the car. That's right, I had to make this cart here my bench because I am just not disconnecting the wires. I mean, it's extremely difficult to disconnect it from here, and going and tracing it down to the control module and disconnecting it is an utter pain in the ass. So I'm just going to work with it right here because as far as this unit is concerned, I only have to disconnect the pneumatics. Alright, so there's a screen that goes here and an O-ring that goes here. So this eBay part came with a new screen, so I'm going to put the screen in, and I'm going to put the O-ring that came with it. Screen and O-ring. Alright, now I'm going to transfer this piece here, this electrical. This actually is the door lock. It provides pressure to this hose right here, which moves the lock up and down. Well, I see even more cracks. There's some cracks here and here, and hopefully that's where it was leaking, and this repair will work. You can actually see where it's deformed. You see, instead of it goes straight, then dips down right there. Let's get a pointer right there. Deformed. So hopefully this fix will work. Alright, well, I have it loose, and there's the piston and the diaphragm. So it's free. Now I sure hope that diaphragm's in good shape. So in here for the vacuum line, 3 things go in there. Your screen, your O-ring, and then a top flat washer seal. Looks like a little Teflon washer. Okay, I have my screen and O-ring and washer in place. Alright, I have the door lock actuator in place. And I'm ready to assemble this guy. Well, I really struggled getting this cap on. I actually had to use these guys right here. Let me get it. These guys right here to compress the apparatus down into the part, that coil, and once I'd set it in place, Then this kind of went on okay. This side snapped first, and then this side snapped second. So that was a little bit more difficult than I thought, but I guess it has to seal. Well, it's actually keyed. You see how that one is smaller than that one, so you can't really screw this up either. Alright, here we go. I'm going to snap it in place. Well, I didn't record the historic event, but it just clicked in place with quite a bit of force. And I was a little worried about this hose. I had to pull it to get enough length to reconnect it, so that's kind of stretched compared to the original. Now I'm going to rewire it. Wire tie goes around there, and then it's reassembly. Alright, I'm definitely not happy with the hose. It really doesn't lock in there. I took the washers out and everything, make sure it had clearance. Maybe I'll take the screen out too and make sure it doesn't really snap in place. So I'm going to make sure that it is very secure with wire ties so that it doesn't pop out. Alright, all my wiring is secured and routed, and now I'm going to wire tie the crap out of everything. There was just one on the original one, but this one's going to have a whole lot more. Alright, on the back side is the door handle latch. You just reach up and flip this open to release it, and you'll need to do that to allow the unit to go free. And another thing you have to deal with is the infrared sensor wire. You need to tuck that out of the way, and when you fish the unit in there before you set it in place, you're going to have to push this outside the door so that you can hook up the infrared sensor. Alright, let's see if I can show you how I fish this thing back in here. I was pushing on it. Alright, well, it's in now. It's a matter of setting it. Okay, I'm in. I started the first screw. Just so you know, I was concentrating on getting the infrared sensor wire out. Right here I was fishing the infrared sensor plug on the outside here. And when I looked on the other side, I had failed to fish it through this access hole in the door. However, you can lower it enough to get this through the access hole without the infrared sensor wire coming completely out. Alright, with the first screw started, I'm going to begin my reassembly here. And there are 3 screws. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to get them started before I set them in place. I don't think you need to remove the door handle, but I did, and the way that works is you just pull it like it's open, and then you move it out, which would in this case be towards the right, and it just becomes unhinged over here and pulls right out. Reassembly is you have to have the pull actuator inside here all the way up as though the door was being pulled open. Then you feed it in and it just clicks in place. It's pretty easy. It took me a few tries to finagle it and get the gaskets straight, which I don't know, I probably could have done a better job, but anyway, it's not too bad once you figure out how it catches on this end. It just snaps in on this end. All right, for the key latch, very straightforward. You see there's just a flat blade. It goes in here. So you just line that up, make sure it goes in place. I don't think it'll go in unless it's lined up. And then, of course, plug in your infrared sensor. All right, now I'm going to tighten it down to remove the key lock and the infrared sensor. There's a screw right here. There's just a little cap, so you remove the cap to get to the access hole and then loosen it up. Now mine is captured, however the work instructions say make sure it doesn't fall out, so on some earlier models there isn't a channel in there like in mine where it captures the screw. Alright, and then you just put the plug back in. Now you know what that's for. Probably be a good idea to mark it. I didn't. Anyway, you just hopefully won't need to adjust this. It was about 3 or 4 threads exposed. So anyway, you can always adjust that. Of course, the panel's going to be here, so you're going to be cursing because you have to take the panel on and off because you're going to be hating life. But anyway, that's that. Alright, on the back side is the door handle latch. You just reach up and flip this open to release it. And you'll need to do that to allow the unit to go free. Alright, the top of the window guide is right here. The window guide channel, I don't know. I did drill the rivet out. You can see I didn't take it completely out. I'm going to have to punch that out for the new rivet. However, in addition to the bottom, I drilled out the top of the window regulator guide. So that did help because I needed to push that inward, and that gave me just enough clearance to get the unit in and out. I didn't have to unlock it from its place. It just moved up a little bit. I think it's pretty much right where it originally was. So I'll have to rivet that back in. Alright, the window regulator guide. Of course I had to remove these 2 rivets, and I thought I would need to move it out of the way, but really it needs to be pressed in order to give you the clearance to take the unit out. So I have to put that guy back in. So you just kind of pull it towards you here, and there we go. And then I'll realign the holes when I put my rivets in there. Another thing I did was I drilled out the rivet that held the door handle adapter in place. I just kind of drilled the rivet out, swung it out of the way. It also helped me keep the lining, the sound dampening or lining, out of the way because that thing kept flopping in. It kept wanting to go back in place. So I'll just swing this guy back in place and it'll be riveted back in. I did have to remove the inside window seal, and if you forget how it goes, you can roll down the passenger side window and look at it. Alright, let's do a window function check. Alright, the sound dampening liner is back on. I was able to just stick it back on using the original material that was on there. It was still pliable. And so now I'm ready to put the door cover back on. So to put the cover back on, I need to hook up the bowden cable to the inside door handle, and I did unhook some electricals, which is the trunk release Actually, that's the power windows. The trunk release and power windows, and these guys are a real pain to take off the module. There are little tabs in there that you have to disengage, and I will show you those, how you disengage them in a second. So here's how you take these plugs out. You take your screwdriver and you stick it in there to disengage the little tabs I just showed you. And I really struggled finding, I didn't want to grind this down, so I just kind of just shoved it in there and forced it to fit. It was a little bit pliable. But if you want to do it correctly, you want to get a piece of metal that's small enough to go in this little slot right here, and then you push it in to disengage the little locks. Of course, the main connectors, they're real easy. You just push down on the release tab and pull. Alright, if your handle is just flopping about, you need to set the bowden cable. If the cable's set at the door lock, then what you need to do is make sure that it's set here also, and that'll tighten it right up. Alright, the door's hung. Now we just start putting all the screws in and snapping it in place and put the covers on, and we'll be good to go. There's a door latch cover, speaker cover, control cover, and we'll secure the door handle, and that's these 1, 2, 3 places, not the white ones. There's one screw that tripped me up right there. That one tripped me up. I was pulling on the door and it wouldn't come off. I missed that one. Alright, I'm going to perform a function check. Well, I know that side has been isolated, so I'm going to go in the passenger rear footwell and pull this light here. So I'll just take this off. Now I'm going to pull this fuse right here. I don't know what number it is. It's the only 20 amp fuse, at least in my car. I'll pull that, and that is to the pump. Alright, let's put this back in there. That should reset the pump. I have seen on the message boards where people advise to pull that fuse to reset it so it would function again, which it does, but it's leaking, so you're just going to burn your pump up, which is even a more daunting task to repair than what I just went through. Alright, here we go. Function check. Man! Alright, you saw it live just like I did. That was my first try. It wasn't staged. Now I will let you know if this repair fails, like if it goofs up after a few months and I have to go into it again and it's broken and I end up just, paying the $400 to purchase a whole unit. Then I will put that in the comments to let you know that it's not worth it. Otherwise, I have my soft close back.